We've gone a few minutes. This was a terrific panel, and I feel badly that we've run so long and there's so little time for questions. We can take a few minutes for questions. I know I could probably be here another half an hour, just asking questions myself. Anybody want to come up and you have any questions from the audience? I know quite a few people have got snug travel time.
I just have a quick question for Mr. Jacob. So at Sprint, we know that some of our assets are at risk. Do you know the frequency that FEMA plans on updating the flood maps? You know, our environmental vendor will look at those maps as we look to build new sites or do site relocations.
Yeah, I mean, for New Jersey, the maps are out already. For New York, they are out. These are the so-called ABFEs, the advisory base flood elevations. They are right now out only for Rockaways, Staten Island, a few parts in Westchester. They are still 100-year flood zones, but we knew in 500 year. So 1% per year chance and 0.21% per year chance. They're out and they're roughly 4 feet higher. Okay. For New York, they are not out yet. I'm not sure what's holding them up because they are negotiated actually with the city. It's not just FEMA saying, here they are, because the city wants to know ahead what's on those maps and think about it and then come back and ask some critical questions, because there will be a huge economic impact from those maps.
That would help us as a carrier greatly nationwide. They have, you know, with the Mississippi flooding we saw in 2011 and all the recent events, it seems like what was every 500-year storms are now every 5 years. So those would help greatly. So I'm not sure if there's any way to get that, but again, I just thought that would be a good.
You know, maps you should take with a grain of salt, because every storm has its own character. The maps are statistical averages. In any one event deviates always. In some place it's stronger, in other places it's not as strong because it falls off its distance. So, you know, they are general guidances, but I think you are well advised, if you are really interested in safety and reliability and resilience, to go beyond, because FEMA maps are minimum standards, not recommended standards. Minimum standards.
Just in conversation with our, our site development folks, some of the challenges we often run into is with local jurisdictions. They don't like the look of some of those, elevated platforms. So, that's often one of the roadblocks we run into. But,
give them a few sandies, and they like those high things. I wasn't allowed to raise my house in 2003, way above the FEMA flood zone. Now they let me raise my house.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Hi, Alexis Kwasinski, UT Austin. So again, my question is also for Dr. Jacob. And the question is about how to measure the intensity of the storms, because we hear all the time talking about, for example, hurricanes and the Saffir-Simpson scale. Yeah. But none of the recent hurricanes where there is a match between wind speed and storm surge.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, if you measure it by the storm surge height, it's about a 500-year storm. If you measure it by the air pressure, it may be a few hundred years, and there's still the discussion out which one it is. And if it's by the size, in other words, the diameter of the storm, it's probably a 700-year storm. So there you have it, depending on what affects you most. And you guys, if you are on the right hand of the storm, which is always the one where the wind blows from the ocean to the land, which is the dangerous side of the storm, to the right-hand side of the eye, you always quickly should move your system to the left hand of the eye if you want to be on the safe side. So depending on what is your critical parameter for your system, whether it's the wind or the water, you have different measures.
Well, I want to thank all of you for coming today, and many of you who participated, some of you who I know attended as well yesterday. Especially want to thank our panel this afternoon. Give one more round of applause. And let me also, I guess, Henning, you'll close it out, but thank Henning for all the work he did in organizing this. I thought he did a great job.